everyone, it's Pixelade here, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Before we jump into the latest patch, which did drop yesterday, I know I'm a little late, I apologize. It was a busy day for Sims news yesterday. I want to take a moment to talk about where inZOI stands right now, because honestly this update comes at a really important time. When inZOI first launched, it pulled nearly 90,000 concurrent players on Steam. And we also know, based on inZOI's social media posts, that the early access version of the game has sold over 1 million copies, which is an amazing accomplishment. Those are awesome numbers, especially for a brand new life sim, but now just a month or so later, the average in-game player count has dropped to around 5,000. Now, to be clear, that's still a decent number for an early access game, but compared to the launch hype, it's a major dip. And I wasn't avoiding talking about it, I just wanted to wait until things settled down a bit before sharing my thoughts. So what actually happened? Well, again, this is a game that's in early access. It's not complete, it's nowhere near complete, and it's up against another life simulation, the dominant life sim, with basically full market control, with over a decade of expansion packs, features, and DLC. That's a pretty tough bar to compete with right out of the gate. But things are starting to shift following Kejun's letter, which I did cover in a very recent video. In that video, I discussed how Krafton recently launched a new communication initiative with Kejun's letter. Direct messages from the game director. They're also rolling out monthly known issue lists, hosting live Q&As, and officially kicking off the 2025 roadmap on May 1st, which will include cheat codes, dynamic weight and muscle changes, more furniture, and expanded gameplay systems. So the update that we're going to cover today, later on in this video, doesn't even include what's to come for the month of May, which is exciting. I think that it's just important to put out there that I don't think any of us should have expected inZOI to retain its 90,000 concurrent players on Steam over a month since release, considering it is in early access. It's not a finished game, it's not polished, there's still lots more that they have to add to it to get it to be where they want to be. And I don't think we should be writing inZOI off as a failure just yet. I do think that with time, the game is going to grow, the amount of concurrent players are going to increase as they add more content, listen to fans, and continue to pump out patches, fixing bugs and issues, and also adding brand new content. So I think it's very important to have this discussion right now going forward. But it's also important to note that even though it does get compared to The Sims, it's still very much so a completely different game. Even though it is pulling elements and inspiration from The Sims, it kind of is its own genre in a way, kind of like a life sim meets GTA. So today's patch isn't just an update or another update for this game. It is the first real sign of whether they're serious about turning things around and continuing to improve the game, which they've, in my opinion, have proven that so far. So with that said and out of the way, I want to dive into yesterday's brand new patch. There was a lot added, first starting with character customization. The inZOI team added 3 new short hairstyles, 2 new basic tops, 1 new basic bottom, 3 types of socks, short, medium, and long, 9 new stockings, 4 new hats, 1 new pair of sunglasses, 5 hair accessories, and 2 new eyelash styles. It's a pretty solid update, and honestly, considering the asset catalog for inZOI was a little bare at launch, it only makes sense and it's only fair that they add more stuff for us free of charge, and they're going to continue doing so over the next year most likely while this game is in early access. So for build mode, we got a lot more, 25 new tile textures for walls, floors, ceilings, and roofs. improves, 4 short stair variations, and 13 new doors and 16 new windows in multiple sizes and styles. So if you are specifically a builder, there is a lot more to work with this time around. And I know there's been a lot of critique on the build mode controls and just how user friendly they are, and they are working to improve that. We got an update recently that kind of made that experience a little better, and I'm sure they're going to continue improving that over time. So for our gameplay tweaks, first, lot pollution now builds up a lot slower. The old system made homes dirty way too fast, and it felt kind of punishing. That's been greatly scaled back, and they've mentioned they're even considering adding an option to turn off cleanliness entirely in the future, which I think is a good idea. It's a great system to have for those that want it, but if you don't, I think it should be toggleable. Emotional stability has also been improved. Previously, ZOIs were shifting moods constantly. It didn't feel natural. Now, their primary emotion only changes when their emotional score hits +2 or higher, which should lead to more grounded reactions. And finally, hunger from street food has been adjusted. After eating, ZOIs won't feel hungry again as quickly as they used to. A small fix, but it definitely improves gameplay a little bit, and I hope they expand on this further when it comes to cooking and eating meals inside of your ZOI's home. It feels a little more like The Sims 2, where you have to eat multiple servings to completely fill up, and I think that should definitely be tweaked a little more in a future patch. So now on to bug fixes and stability improvements. Male ZOIs can now eat street food while seated. The Tekbaki craving bug has been resolved. Faces created in Create-a-ZOI now show up correctly in gameplay. And for build mode fixes, when applying a lot of presets in different size, the original creator is now retained. Stair materials and colors now apply correctly after rotation. Freezing and glitches caused by scene depth Z processing have been fixed. And for a few other fixes, game option changes now require clicking apply to confirm. Save files with special characters in the name now load properly, and localization quality has been improved across multiple languages. You can check your language's localization status under options, gameplay, and game language. So yeah, the patch might not be super massive, but it's definitely very meaningful, and it's an indicator in what direction this game is heading, which in my opinion is a pretty positive one. It shows that Krafton is listening. It also lines up with their biggest transparency push, which honestly was way overdue. If they stay consistent with updates and keep communicating, I think inZOI could really bounce back in terms of that concurrent player number, and I honestly see that happening within the next 6 months or so. It'll probably increase hopefully to between 7,500 to 10,000 concurrent players, and I hope that it'll exceed that even more when we go into the full official release. But as of this time, we don't know when that's going to be. And like I said before, having competition in the life sim genre is a good thing. It keeps everyone on their toes, including the Sims team and EA. And with Paralyzed still on the way, the space is only getting more interesting. Unfortunately, Life by You didn't make it far enough to be a part of the picture, but you know, if you want to last in this genre, you have to be good and you have to wow players, so bring your A game. I'm curious on what you guys think. Is this patch a good first step towards recovery in terms of the concurrent player number? And are you feeling more confident about the game's future? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and that is going to be it from me for now for this video. Thank you guys for watching, take care, and happy life simming.